Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. Seems like ages. I think I only missed a couple of Sundays, but anyway, I'm glad to be back here again with you. I think what I'd like to do is meditate a little bit while we're waiting on people to come in. And we're going to start with one song called Riding the Ox. And that song is one of my favorites, a very old one. But just let go of this world, let go of all of your problems and everything as we meditate here and focus on your heart and your third eye. And we'll just kind of keep that going for this song. And then the next song will be Waves of Light. And that one will be going up and down a bit. So let's meditate to two songs as people are joining us. Take a breath. Relax. So welcome. Wow. I think we spend a lot of time trying to figure our way out in this life. We're dropped into this world full of people who are lost and blind. We're in a sea, a psychic sea of that's populated around us by people who are, as I said, blind. They see with their eyes, but we really don't see each other. We're too busy looking at ourselves. We're too busy being self-absorbed to really think about other people that much. We don't have a sense of touch because we're not used to touching each other. And I'm not talking physically. I'm talking emotionally and spiritually, as friends, as lovers, as family. Even how we touch people who we don't agree with, people who think and act so differently than we do. We don't touch that much. We don't taste life. We taste spices and things like that. But this last Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, I spent 2 days on Mount Shasta. The second day, I touched Mount Shasta deeply, deeper than I ever have. And it made me wonder why I hadn't been able to touch it before. I've been there many, many times and I have touched it, but not like I did this time. We think that we touch each other, but really we're just using our hands and limited set of conditional emotions. I can go through all the senses, but I think you get the drift. We're in a world of limitation, a world where we cannot see too far beyond ourselves. We are influenced by everyone and everything around us. It tempers our perception. It causes us to not be open because it can be painful. And when we get caught up in the world like that, it becomes very distressing. It becomes uncomfortable to be around parts of it. I must confess, I have a very difficult time being around people who are consumed with rage or hatred. I just have a hard time with that. It's all God, though, isn't it? Just God being manifested in a strange way, in a perverted way, through the people who you meet. How are you perverting God? How are you taking that divine, perfect, pristine light energy and turning it into your world? Why are you alone? Why are you obsessed with being around people? I don't know. What's causing you to be the way you are? Why are you at a certain financial level and you can't seem to get out of it? Why is it that we get into relationships, whether it's love relationships or relationships with our bosses or whatever, and we tend to go in these patterns that just keep repeating themselves? It's troubling. Oh my. So what I'd like to do today is maybe give you a tool that will raise your consciousness. Now, we exert ourselves at a certain level of consciousness. I know of a teacher who has a wonderful consciousness. I mean, he's absolutely amazing. And he's manifested a Rolls Royce. Good for him. I manifest a 2002 PT Cruiser, but it's a very nice little car. Which one of us is doing it better? Well, I'm submitting that we're both about the same. He enjoys that new car. It's really quite elegant. It's hard to find a flaw. And I really, really enjoy my little PT Cruiser. You say, well, you should do better than that. Well, I don't think so, or I would. I live very simply. I like living like a monk. I like keeping things kind of simple. Don't want to encumber myself too much. And I would like to talk to you today about how to live a free life, how to transcend your karmic attitudes. We are really immersed in karma here. The cause and effect. If I do something at a certain level of awareness, then that puts me in a karmic plane that things will come back to me at that level. If I cheat and steal from you, it doesn't mean that people will cheat and steal from me, although it could happen. It could mean that as I'm cheating and stealing from you, I do something that causes me to lose a job. Something's taken away from me. I might lose a relationship. It's not always the same as what you do, but there's a consciousness, there's a level of vibration that you get into. And at that level of vibration, you manifest. Teacher I was talking about manifested wonderful level. Don't judge him. Don't judge him. He's wonderful. I wish he had 10 of those. I don't really want 10 PT Cruisers though. No. It's just where we're at. Let go of your judgments. There you go. Just be with me. Hang in here with me. I'm in a happy place. So we're in this thing of cause and effect, right? Karma. It's always bringing to us what we put out, we get back. And we're paying a lot of attention to the intention of our heart and our will. And we're trying to focus it on the higher realms. And we're trying to clean up our life underneath. We're trying to, forgive people, seek forgiveness, make amends, that sort of thing, so that we live a clean life. It's just seems like a common sense thing to do. And karma and good thinking, right thinking, and thinking with the right attitudes put you in a karmic level where you have nice things happen to you. Christ walked around preaching the gospel. The gospel was what he taught. The gospel was not that he died for our sins. He never once said that. He was walking around on the earth teaching the gospel. The gospel was what he taught, which mainly had to do with cause and effect. Love your enemies, pray for your enemies, give to the poor, help the needy, bind the wounds, do all of these things. Just stuff that's really good karma. And when you do that, your life becomes brighter and happier. It's just that's why it's the good news. If you're hurting people, if you're being vengeful, if you're full of revenge, if you have self-righteousness and you have to act on that all the time, that puts you in a karma that's not so happy. That's not the good news. The good news is that you can change your actions, change your attitudes, and live an extraordinarily happy life. Which brings me to the topic of the day. And the topic of the day is merit. Merit is something that they talk about in Buddhism a bit, and I've been exploring the idea of merit since Mount Shasta, mainly. And merit takes place inside of you when you are doing something for someone else or for the world or for something. You're doing something very, very positive from your heart of hearts. You're doing it to really help someone, to be of service, to be of any kind of assistance at all, to just clean up things. Maybe, I was in a very bad place once. So when I was studying with my teacher, I was going through kind of a dark time. It happens when you're studying. You're always evolving and things are changing. And I was kind of going through a kind of a tough time one night. It was 2:00 in the morning. And I knew I had to shift. So I went in the kitchen and I got a bucket, mop, some rags, some cleaners. And I went down to this laundromat that was about 8 or 9 blocks away. And it was always filthy. I mean, this was a filthy laundromat. I went there at 2:00 in the morning. It was open 24 hours. And I cleaned it. I cleaned the windows. I cleaned the chairs, the seats. I cleaned the machines. I swept and mopped the floor, took the trash out. I cleaned that place. I worked 2 hours hard and it looked really good. And I left. I didn't leave a note. I didn't say, have a good day. I cleaned the laundromat for you and have everybody kind of wonder who I was. I didn't do any of that. I just left. And I was in a great mood the rest of the week. Then I started telling people about it. I kind of lost it. But the idea is if I did something selflessly, I wasn't looking for people to say thank you or to acknowledge me in any way. I wasn't expecting any acknowledgement. I was doing it because it seemed like a good thing to do. It wasn't hurting anybody, and yet I think it helped people. You can imagine maybe, the maintenance person coming in the next morning dreading to clean the place, and there it is all clean for them. What happened? Who did this? Magic. So merit happens when you're doing something completely selflessly, not really wanting any kind of acknowledgement, not seeking any kind of recognition as to what you did, not doing it so that you will become rich or that you'll become famous or that you'll create good karma and make more money, but you're doing it out of the selflessness of your heart. It's the right thing to do. It's a good thing to do. And it's done without ego, which means that you're not seeking any kind of acknowledgement. When I was going to the seminary back in the day for religious science, we studied all religions. So we spent an evening at a Zen monastery. We're doing the chants and going through the evening. And there was a time when we had a little moment where we could just look at the grounds. And some of us were out there watching this monk rake up the leaves. It was autumn. He was waking up the leaves. And I was watching him. And I could see that his intention was coming from here in his heart, down his hands, down that leaf rake into the earth and pulling those leaves. There was a movement that he was doing that was so perfect. His intention was so clean. He just raked those leaves. And one of the ministerial students that was with us was so inspired that she went over to him and she says, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you, you're doing such a wonderful job raking up these leaves." And he looked at her and he smiled. And he took the leaf rake, leaned it against the tree, turned and walked away. He wasn't doing it so people would recognize what he was doing. He wasn't doing that so that people would say, "Oh, what a wonderful person." As a matter of fact, when they said that to him, it kind of ruined the moment for him. When you act in ways like that, you are creating merit. And when you create merit, what it does, since it vibrates more closely with the universe, with the Dharma, it raises your vibration. And from this new position, you may not get a new job, you may not have a new car, your relationships might not heal themselves or whatever, but what you will find is that life becomes fuller. It becomes so amazing. It's like everything is perfect. It's merit. I drive my PT Cruiser. My friend drives his Rolls Royce. There's no difference. We have merit. Merit makes us happy. It makes life full of wonder. It's not locked into egoic stuff that says, "Oh, look at me, I'm wonderful. Everybody pay attention over here. See how high I am? Look how advanced I am." All of those thoughts are, I guess we could call them demerits. They kind of lower you down. But a merit is when it's done so selflessly. Not even in the way that you're going to congratulate yourself. "Oh, I'm so good. I'm doing a lot of this stuff selflessly. I don't want anybody to know, but I'm doing really good." No, it's just a way of being. And that way of being is so perfect that it raises your vibration, and your vibration makes the world magical. It's not karma. It's merit. It's coming in tune and in alignment with the Dharma, with the perfection of life. It's in alignment with the unconditional love that is manifesting itself in everyone and in everything, and in you too. It is the amazing experience, the magical experience of being alive in a liberated way. You're no longer constrained by your egoic self. You're no longer trapped into the prison of trying to please others, live up or down to their expectations. Liberation is free of all of those egoic things. Your need to please others, your need to feel like you're important. You just are. You're perfect. So I'm encouraging you to do things of merit, to try to find something that you can do every day to quietly make life better. I do it when I walk my dog. If I see somebody didn't pick up after their dog, I just pick it up. It's the right thing to do. It doesn't make me better. I don't want people looking at me, oh, look at him, he's picking up other people's dog poop. No, it doesn't mean that. I don't need that at all. And I'm just using that as one little example. They're all over the place, you know? Maybe you're living with a group of people and nobody likes to do the dishes. Well, just go in and do them. Maybe do them when nobody's watching. Or if they're watching, make no big deal of it. When you finish with that, maybe you need to take out the trash. You shouldn't be having the attitude, well, I did the dishes, now I'm going to have to, I'll take out the trash. I'll show you guys how much more spiritual I am. That's kind of not it. It's selfless. It's not seeking recognition, but it's action doing the right thing. It creates happiness in your life. It's amazing. You should really try this thing. Look for things to do that people are not doing. If you live in an apartment and the hallway is always kind of dirty, get out and clean it. It's not against the law. And then it just makes such a difference when everybody, your neighbors and you all walk into that hall and it's clean. How nice. I could come up with many, many examples of merit, but I think you get the idea that when you want to move yourself into a higher vibration, a vibration that lets you enjoy life at a way that you had never experienced before, then do meritorious things. We're not taught to be that way. We're taught to be competitive and to seek acknowledgement and to give acknowledgement. We're taught that. But there's a space that's higher. There's a place for service, for selfless service. For being mindful of what's going on around you. Is there anything you can do that would make it a little better? Right occupation, right? What can you say that would make things a little better? Right language. I could go on, but you'll figure this out. I just wanted to bring up today the beauty and the wonder of merit. Overlooked because we're so busy. If paying our dues, we pay our tithe. If I pay my tithe, then I'll get 10 times back. That's what I was taught as a child. You give to God 10%, he'll give you back 100%. It doesn't always work that way. But if you give totally of your heart, selflessly to others, your life will be amazing. I invite you to try it. And it may be kind of difficult for you because we're so used to doing things with the idea that we'll do it as long as somebody pays attention to it, as long as we get some sort of acknowledgement that I'm not somebody's slave, Well, you are a slave, actually. this level, you should be a slave to doing the right thing. That's what you should be a slave to, doing the right thing. And the right thing is chock full of meritorious actions, of attitudes. Your self-importance really gets in the way of enlightenment. You're feeling that you have to perform at a certain level and that you have to impress people and show your power. You don't. Find liberation in your heart. Fill your heart with love, not conditional love, but love that seeks to make things better. Quit judging. The rich, the people who have a lot of toys, aren't better than you. They just have more stuff. Just because you don't have as much as they do doesn't mean that you're less than they are, or that you're better than they are. Just means you're stuck. Selflessness is hard to understand when your self is so huge. When all that you know is yourself, and to give up on it, to be free, to be at one with everyone and everything. And if you're at one, you're going to want to do the right thing. You want to be in alignment with the universe. And if you see something that you can do quietly and happily, then put forth the effort, put forth the energy and the intention, and just do it. Do the right thing. You'll find your life is much happier and much better and much fuller when it's not dependent on your income, the car you drive, how many friends you have on Facebook, any of that stuff. Merit. Good stuff. It's good to be back. I never really left. Namaste.